So what is up, amigos? Hope you're doing awesome. My name is Maddie and welcome back to my channel. When I first heard that Ashish Chanchlani was coming with his first ever long format series called EKAKI, I was genuinely excited because this is someone I have admired for years, not just for his humor, but for how consistently he connected with millions of people through relatable, homegrown comedy. Those sketches on his YouTube channel weren't just funny, they were a part of our everyday conversations. His timing, his writing, his energy, everything about Ashish used to scream originality and passion. So when he announced EKAKI, and that too as a horror comedy, I thought finally here comes the next big step for a creator who's ready to evolve. But after watching the trailer, I felt a little underwhelmed. The first thing that hits you is that the intrigue, that mysterious pull a horror comedy should have, is missing. The visuals are fine. The lighting, the corridors, all those elements do look decently picturized, but something about it doesn't convince you completely. It feels like the idea is there, the intention is there, but the tone never truly settles into that chilling or funny zone that such a genre demands. You can sense the effort, but not the magic. Even in the comedy bits, which used to be Ashish's strongest zone, the writing feels a bit held back. Earlier, even a one-liner from his sketches could make you burst out laughing. The jokes were sharp, spontaneous, and had that real-life funny vibe that only Ashish could pull off. But here, the humor feels a little forced, like it's unsure whether to go all in or stay subtle. It's that tricky spot where horror and comedy both need confidence to stand out, and right now the trailer feels like it's testing the waters. Maybe the series itself will have more substance, but as a trailer, it doesn't grab you as much as it should have. And I'm not saying this as a critique throwing shade. I'm saying this as someone who deeply admires Ashish Chanchlani, because honestly, this man changed the way Indian YouTube felt in the late 2010s. He gave an identity to creators who didn't come from film backgrounds. Yes, he owns a multiplex or a single screen, that's fine, but someone who just started with a camera and a dream. And as a YouTuber myself now, I can only imagine how challenging this step must have been. Moving from short, punchy sketches to a full-fledged series where pacing, emotion and story all have to blend together. It's not easy, but it's brave. In fact, if you look around, this new wave of creators crossing over to bigger formats is quite inspiring. We've seen Bhuvan Bam, who built his empire with BBQ wines and then transitioned into Dhindora and Taaza Khabar, both of which showed how a YouTube creator can handle storytelling with depth. And his recent announcement of signing up with Karan Johar's Dharma Productions for a big project is the next big thing for him. Then there's Pradeep Ranganathan, who started by making small YouTube sketches and ended up directing and starring in a film like Love Today. Rest is history of his hat-trick hits with Dragon and now recently Dude, the Tamil film. And then Mouli in Telugu, who made the sweet little rom-com called Little Heart this year, a film that worked within its own limits and proved that you don't need a massive production to win hearts. These are all people who started on the internet, who built their worlds from scratch and are now crossing into new territories with courage. And EKAKI feels like Ashish's version of that same progression. Interestingly, even Akshay Kumar himself commented on Ashish's post, saying this should be released in theaters. And while that kind of encouragement coming from a superstar is massive validation, I actually think Ashish made the smarter call by releasing it free on YouTube, because a theatrical release demands a completely different kind of machinery, marketing budgets, distributors, their commissions, PR cycles, and a lot of logistics that can easily overshadow creativity if things don't align. On YouTube, he gets something even more valuable: reach, freedom, and direct connection with the audience that made him who he is. It's a platform where content either connects or it doesn't, without middlemen, without barriers. And that's exactly where EKAKI belongs right now, in front of the audience that grew with him. It's actually funny how the creative world has flipped, right? A few years ago, film stars were the ones dominating everything, and YouTubers were just the new kids on the block trying to make noise online. But today we're seeing actors from industry opening YouTube channels to connect with the audiences, while people like Ashish, Bhuvan, Mouli and Pradeep are moving from digital to mainstream storytelling. That reversal is powerful. It shows that creativity doesn't belong to any one medium anymore. If you have the talent, people will find you no matter where you start. So coming back to EKAKI, while the trailer might not have completely hit the mark in terms of intrigue or clever writing, I still think this project deserves support, because this is Ashish's first step into a space that demands a different kind of discipline. Maybe the series will have the substance and emotional layering that the trailer didn't fully show, and maybe that's why I still want it to work, not just for Ashish, but for what he represents. Every creator who started from zero, every storyteller who's trying to reinvent themselves, and every audience member who believes in passion over privilege. At the end of the day, EKAKI may or or may not turn out to be a great horror comedy, but the fact that Ashish is attempting it, that alone deserves appreciation, because real growth never happens inside comfort zones, and this feels like a brave attempt to break out of one. Thank you for watching me today. If you liked the content, do hit the like button, subscribe to the channel for more such content, and take care. You stay awesome. Bye bye.